Welcome back to another episode of Misplaced Garage. On this episode, I got a few things to dial in correctly. I got some parts over there over on the workbench. I gotta make another brake line all the way over to the other side front. I may start on the back brake lines, I don't know yet, I'm not 100% positive. Well, this brake line tool was doing awesome until this bolt broke. Doesn't look to be made of very quality steel, but it is what it is. I'm gonna have to return it and get another one, but that's okay. Not the end of the world for me. Unfortunately, I can't get this last front brake line done, but that's okay. I've got it to a point where I could finish it in the future. I also picked up some more heat shrink because I needed a larger size for under the dashboard. When I soldered a couple of wires together, it was way too big for this 3/16 shrink, so I used the 5/16 and that worked perfectly. So happy about that. Picked up another one just because I'm running out of the other stuff. 8 feet seems like a lot, but once you start cutting a bunch of it, and then sometimes you don't use some of it, it just disappears, sort of, so that is what it is. Over here on the table, I already opened it, but I have this headlight switch that I ordered. It is a 30 amp and also a 15 amp, so I don't really understand what that means, but I assume there's 2 circuits on this puppy. So I will hopefully have some lights going and getting them in order, but that's a little bit later on. I went and got some bolts as well. A couple of the things on the car need new bolts and need to be fixed up. Seems like a theme with this car, but every bolt needs to be replaced basically because everything's all old and crusty and gross and probably not gonna last much longer. And I'm also replacing it with stronger hardware. So one of the things that I showed in the previous episode was I just slid this bolt in there just so that I could use it, but I'm going to actually put one of these skinny little nylock nuts on it so then I can tighten it down, but not so far tight that it binds up this arm, because this arm has to move and wiggle a little bit. So that's why I kind of thought a thin nylock would work nearly perfectly, and it's starting to look like it will. So super stoked on that. Two new bolts for this bad boy with washers as well, so that I don't have to worry about those bolts breaking or flexing or whatever it might be, because when it comes to the brakes, you want to have a great starting point. Ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Will that washer go on? Nope, of course it won't. Imagine my shock. I don't know if I ever put a bolt on this actually. This is... Oh, it'll work. Cool. So out with these crusty old bolts and in with some new ones right there. I think that looks a lot better. Went with a grade 5. These were grade 5, but these are not the same size, so I just decided to get 2 new ones. I just had these in there temporarily until I got new ones, obviously. But also the nylock is down here on that, so don't gotta worry about that. Unfortunately, that brake line tool stopped working for me. I'm gonna go grab another one, but I'm gonna start on this headlight switch here and see what I can do. Obviously there's a couple different motions for this. There's parking lights and then headlights, I believe. So we gotta figure out how to wire that up. But it should be relatively easy. We'll find out here soon. I got my headlight switch all wired up here. I tried to do it as nicely as possible. Clearly it looks pretty good. But I'm slightly worried because I don't know the answer to this question, which is, this is a 30 amp switch. that means this switch will blow up if I give it more than 30 amps, obviously. Down here, I get one wire that has constant power that is 20 amps. And then also down here, I get one wire that is constant power that is 30 amps. So, I am confused that I understand that one of these, if I put both of those together, this orange wire, which is the 20 amp, and this red wire up here, which is the 30 amp, if I put those two together, will that just blow up this whole switch? I don't know. But I'm going to try and figure out if it works with just the park lights right now and see what happens. Hopefully I don't short anything out. But in the theory, I have this all hooked up correctly according to this tiny little schematic that they provide you with this switch. But I'm gonna go hook up the battery and see what happens. Alrighty guys, here we go. Obviously no lights are on in the rear end. Clearly shown there. I did put the negative ground terminal on the battery just to be sure. Obviously I have to complete the circuit, but flip this up. That gives power to all the fuses. No lights are on still. I mean, it kind of looks like it in the video, but that's just reflective. Now I come down here, pull this switch out, just one. That turns on the park lights. And clearly you can see here, park lights are on. And the tail light. Well, one of the tail lights. I don't think that this has a good bulb in it over here, and I don't think that one has a good bulb in it either. So I'm gonna have to order some new bulbs for these, but that is a sign of success right there. So I picked up quite a few little Chinese products off of Amazon. These are little blinker indicators, so those will tell you if the left or the right blinker is on. They're the little green lights inside of your car. I got a push button for the horn, which I think is going to be pretty cool. This is a motorcycle horn, but it is 12 volts, so it should work for a car. I didn't want a really big one or a really loud one, so I just wanted to get something under the hood, and this looks like it should be just about perfect because it is tiny, and I think it's great. I got the horn all wired up. I did a really crappy ground down here. I gotta figure out a front engine main ground that I can just send everything to. This one down here is just temporary, just to ground the engine in case there's any other problems, but ground goes on top, power goes on bottom. It's hooked up in the front, so then it kind of sends it at an angle out the grill. So now I got ground over there. Let me come back in here. I still got some finishing to do on the wiring, clearly. Everything's all kind of wire wrapped in here, so don't worry about that. Got a crappy ground there as well. But, so you can see, no lights on. Flip this switch, still no lights on, obviously. But when you come down here to the headlight switch, flick that up, it turns blue. And something must have fallen off now. Does it not work when it turns blue? Yeah, of course it doesn't. But it works now. Anyways guys, that will do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed all the content that I'm putting out. I'm trying to consistently do it every Friday, I think since the new year I have, so I'm super stoked about that. I'm also considering doing a rate my subscribers car every during the week or something like that. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know down in the comments and I'll figure out something where you guys can email me a picture of your car and I'll rate it or something like that. Just let me know if that would be something you guys are interested in. If you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.